Overseas, shoppers have definitely tightened their purse strings. American retailers are reporting a marked drop in sales compared to last year.
What percentage do you think you're down from last year?
40%.
The sales signs are becoming the signs of the times, with almost every American store offering discounts.
We never have had a sale before.
So you got this year?
This is the first year that we've kind of lowered prices on all of our merchandise.
Traffic has been so slow, retailers need to find ways just to move the merchandise.
In Britain, department store sales have slumped severely.
It's a shame. It's the time of year that should be all about spending freely, but just can't afford to do it, so I've had to tighten my belt a little bit.
30,000 British retail workers are being laid off and will join the dole queues next month. Jenny Lavelle, World News Australia.
President-elect Obama might have little choice but to give the big three automakers what they want, whatever the final tally is.
When we look back 2, 3, 4 years from now, taxpayers will have committed over $100 billion to the automakers.
While President Bush made the first installment, ultimately Mr. Obama will be the decider.
Bush is punting this problem to the next administration. Barack Obama can catch the ball and deal with it. He can let it bounce into the end zone and force the parties to live up to the terms of the deal.
GM CEO Rick Wagner says a March 31st deadline for the companies to be in the black or give the money back is a tight one.
I don't think it's impossible. We obviously have some big steps we have to take.
For one thing, convincing auto workers to accept deep pay cuts.
Labor, in order to save their own jobs, in order to save the prospect of an industry, is going to have to make some more sacrifices.
That is likely to force a confrontation between the new president and some of his biggest supporters in organized labor.
As though there weren't enough doom and gloom in the United States at the moment, now Mother Nature has chimed in. Early snowfalls are disrupting transport, electricity supplies, schools and the holiday season. These storms continue to sweep across 3 northern regions of the United States, and it's likely they will last for a few days. The Pacific Northwest, Midwest and East Coast regions all besieged with fast-moving winds and frosty temperatures.
Snow in Seattle, an unusual sight in the Pacific Northwest. With a blizzard warning issued, this wintry weather could wreak havoc on locals for days.
This particular storm here in the Pacific Northwest might be one of our more historic events with regards to wind, down trees, down power lines, people without power, and then they're going to be in the cold.
Residents of the northern states and parts of Canada are hardly dreaming of a white Christmas. They're shoveling, shaving snow off cars, even bracing for an Arctic apocalypse.
I've got batteries, some lights, gas for my generator.
Forget the Christmas turkey. High on the shopping list this season are portable generators.
They're out of generators, they're out of ice scrapers.
In the northeast, forecasters said the snow would stop last night, but it just keeps tumbling down, causing power outages across the region and headaches for authorities.
This is one of those rare occasions where you simply cannot keep up with it.
There is a campaign to get the homeless off the street.
The US President-elect Barack Obama has named 2 leading environmentalists among his science advisors, signaling climate change will be among his top priorities when he takes office next month. John Holdren, an award-winning professor at Harvard University, was appointed to head the Office of Science and Technology Policy, while Jane Lubchenco, a marine biologist, will head the agency responsible for monitoring global weather patterns.
Mr. Obama's latest appointments mark a clear shift in US policy. The Bush administration was frequently criticized for ignoring the threat from climate change and downplaying its effects. But in his weekly address, the president-elect said he wants science to play a far greater role in the future.
Today, more than ever before, science holds the key to our survival as a planet and our security and prosperity as a nation. It's time we once again put science at the top of our agenda and worked to restore America's place as the world leader in science and technology.
Mr. Obama described Professor Holdren as one of the most passionate and persistent voices of our time about the growing threat of climate change. Dr. Lubchenco is a renowned environmental expert and marine biologist who has criticized the Bush administration as not being respectful of science. She'll become the first woman to head the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which does much of the government's research on global warming.
Working with these leaders, we will seek to draw on the power of science to both meet our challenges across the globe and revitalize our economy here at home.
President Bush has been widely criticized for refusing to ratify the Kyoto Protocol on climate change and for putting politics over science. In his address, Mr. Obama warned that facts and evidence should never be twisted or obscured by politics or ideology. Meanwhile, the president-elect will be hoping for a change of climate of a different kind over the Christmas break, as he and his family jetted out of snow-covered Chicago, heading for a 10-day holiday in balmy Hawaii. Nick Wells, World News Australia.
Leave flame, which hither ye have fought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.